It begins not with a roar, not with a sudden cataclysm that announces itself to the world. Instead, the initial signs are subtle, almost imperceptible, but with a tremor deep within the planet's core, a low, resonant hum that vibrates through the very bones of the Earth, a signal that something ancient and immense is stirring far below. It's a whisper at first, a secret passed between tectonic plates. The ground swells, subtly at first, like a sleeping giant stretching in its sleep. Cracks appear in the earth, hairline fractures that spiderweb across the landscape, betraying the immense pressure building beneath. Animals grow restless, their instincts screaming warnings that humans can barely perceive. Birds take flight in panicked flocks, and land animals flee to higher ground, driven by an unseen terror. And the sky takes on a strange, hazy quality. The air shimmers with an unnatural heat, and the sun's rays are diffused, casting an eerie glow across the land. It's a premonition, a sign that the atmosphere itself is reacting to the forces gathering below. This is not a storm, not a fleeting squall or a passing front. This is something far more profound, something that transcends the ordinary patterns of weather, but a force far more ancient, an awakening of unimaginable scale. A geological titan slumbering for millennia is about to unleash its fury upon the world. The earth itself is about to breathe fire. Suddenly, the earth gives way. The fragile crust, unable to contain the immense pressure any longer, ruptures with terrifying force. A vast section of crust collapses, swallowed by the abyss that yawns open beneath. The ground trembles violently, buildings crumble, and the landscape is irrevocably transformed in an instant. And a column of ash and gas erupts, reaching for the edge of space. A superheated geyser of rock, dust, and toxic fumes that blots out the sun and chokes the atmosphere. It's a pillar of destruction, a monument to the raw power of the planet. The sound is felt as much as heard, a deafening roar that shatters eardrums and vibrates through the very soul. A concussive wave that ripples for thousands of miles. It levels forests, topples buildings, and sends shockwaves through the earth itself, triggering earthquakes and tsunamis in its wake. The sky darkens to twilight across continents. The sun, once a source of life and warmth, is now obscured by a thick blanket of ash, casting a perpetual gloom over the land. The sun becomes a pale disk behind volcanic dust, a ghostly reminder of the world that once was. Its light struggles to penetrate the dense cloud of particles, offering little warmth or comfort. Pulverized rock falls like relentless gray snow, a constant rain of abrasive particles that coats everything in a thick layer of dust, burying homes and forests, transforming the familiar landscape into a desolate wasteland. The weight of the ash collapses roofs, smothers vegetation, and chokes the life out of the land. The air turns toxic, laden with poisonous gases that burn the lungs and sting the eyes. Every breath becomes a struggle, a reminder of the deadly environment that now surrounds us. Every breath a risk, a gamble with survival in this new, hostile world. The simple act of breathing becomes a conscious effort, a constant reminder of our vulnerability. This is the immediate devastation of a supervolcano's awakening, a cataclysm of unimaginable proportions that reshapes the landscape and plunges the world into chaos. Around the globe, sunsets burn red as volcanic dust circles the upper atmosphere, painting the sky with an eerie, apocalyptic beauty. These vibrant hues are a stark reminder of the destruction that has been unleashed. Temperatures drop as the ash cloud blocks out the sun's rays, plunging the world into a volcanic winter. The growing seasons are shortened, crops fail, and famine threatens to engulf the survivors. The climate's balance violently disrupted, triggering a cascade of ecological disasters. Weather patterns become erratic, storms intensify, and the delicate ecosystems of the planet are thrown into disarray. The world we knew is gone, erased by the fury of the volcano. The familiar landmarks, the bustling cities, the verdant landscapes, all are buried beneath a layer of ash and despair, replaced by a new, hostile environment, a barren wasteland where survival is a daily struggle. The air is thick with ash, the water is contaminated, and the land is poisoned. The planet has shown its power, a raw, untamed force that dwarfs anything humanity can create or control. It's a humbling reminder of our place in the grand scheme of things, and humanity is forced to witness its own fragility, its vulnerability in the face of such overwhelming natural forces. Our cities, our technology, our very civilization, all are rendered insignificant in the face of the Earth's fury. When we picture a volcano, the image that usually springs to mind is that of a classic cone-shaped mountain, a majestic peak rising towards the sky. We envision the stereotypical volcano, the kind we often see in movies or textbooks. But a supervolcano is something else entirely, a different beast altogether. It defies the conventional image of what a volcano should be. There's no towering peak, no iconic cone reaching for the heavens, just a massive, sunken caldera, a vast depression in the earth. It's a landscape that whispers of immense power hidden beneath the surface. It's the scar of an eruption beyond imagination, a geological wound left by forces that reshape continents. These aren't just eruptions, they are cataclysmic events. Yellowstone National Park, a place of stunning beauty and geothermal wonders, sits atop one such giant, a sleeping behemoth. Its geysers and hot springs, those bubbling pools and shooting plumes of water, are all fueled by a colossal magma chamber lurking deep beneath the surface, a reservoir of molten rock waiting for its moment. Lake Toba in Indonesia, a serene and picturesque body of water, fills the crater of another supervolcano, a reminder of the destructive power that once resided there. Its ancient eruption was so immense, so devastating, that it nearly wiped out humanity, pushing our species to the brink of extinction. It's a chilling reminder of the fragility of life on Earth. The key difference between a regular volcano and a supervolcano is scale, the sheer magnitude of the eruption. To quantify this difference, volcanologists use the Volcanic Explosivity Index, or VEI, a scale that measures the power of volcanic eruptions. Mount St. Helens, a significant eruption in recent history, was a VEI 5. Krakatoa, known for its devastating explosion, reached a VEI 6. A supervolcano, however, registers as a VEI 8, the highest level on the scale, representing an eruption of unimaginable force. This means releasing over 1,000 cubic kilometers of material into the atmosphere, enough ash and debris to blanket entire continents. These eruptions are rare occurrences separated by hundreds of thousands, even millions of years, making them difficult to study and predict. Because of their infrequency, we have no direct human record of a VEI 8 event, no eyewitness accounts to describe the sheer terror and devastation. Instead, we rely on geological scars etched into the earth and genetic bottlenecks in populations to understand their impact. They are the planet's ultimate expression of power, a raw and untamed force that can reshape the world in an instant. They serve as stark reminders that the ground beneath us is not as stable or permanent as it seems, that the forces of nature are always at play. The giants are not dead, they are merely sleeping, biding their time in the depths of the earth. Our knowledge of these colossal forces is pieced together from ancient rock formations, ash deposits, and the faint echoes of past catastrophes, a puzzle we are still trying to solve. Supervolcanoes are not just bigger volcanoes, they are world-changing events, capable of altering climates and impacting ecosystems on a global scale. Their rarity, combined with their potential for devastation, makes them all the more dangerous, a threat that looms in the geological background. The engine of a supervolcano is a vast, hidden magma chamber deep within the Earth's crust. Unlike underground lakes of fire, these chambers are rocky sponges, saturated with hot, pressurized magma. Over millennia, magma from the mantle pushes upward, building pressure. High-viscosity magma traps gases, increasing the explosive potential. The crust above stretches and bulges, a warning sign geologists watch for. When pressure overwhelms the rock, cracks form in a ring, and the gases explode outward. The eruption shatters magma into ash, propelling it skyward at supersonic speeds. The chamber's roof collapses, forming the caldera we see today. In days, a vast portion of the chamber empties, sending material into the stratosphere. The violence and speed of this process are almost unimaginable. Monitoring a supervolcano is a challenge of modern geology. Scientists rely on seismometers to detect tremors and GPS to measure ground swelling. Satellite radar maps stress zones, revealing the magma's restless movements. Gas emissions, especially sulfur dioxide, offer clues about magma rising. Despite advanced technology, predicting a supereruption's timing is impossible. Volcanoes can show unrest for decades, then settle back into silence. The task is to distinguish normal activity from signs of catastrophe. The warning, if it comes, would signal a crisis on a planetary scale. In the wake of a supereruption, volcanic ash blankets the land. Near the eruption, ash collapses buildings and buries cities, Even far away, a thin layer cripples power grids and halts engines. Air travel stops, global trade is severed, crops are smothered, water is contaminated, and livestock die from poisoned feed. Food supplies collapse, and distribution grinds to a halt. The ash, made of sharp volcanic glass, causes severe respiratory problems. Toxic gases create acid rain, making the air unbreathable in fallout zones. Survival becomes a desperate struggle against darkness and suffocation. The ashfall is only the beginning. The true crisis is global climate disruption. Sulfur gases form a haze in the stratosphere, reflecting sunlight and cooling the planet. A volcanic winter follows, with global temperatures dropping by up to 10 degrees Celsius. Growing seasons vanish, crops fail, and famine spreads worldwide. Oceans cool, disrupting marine life and food chains. Societies strain under the pressure of darkness, cold, and hunger. Governments may collapse. Nations could fight over dwindling resources. Our interconnected civilization, built on stability, is suddenly fragile. A supervolcano would force humanity into a desperate struggle for survival. To glimpse our future, we look to the past. Toba, Sumatra, 74,000 years ago. Toba's VII-8 eruption ejected enough ash to bury Texas under 5 feet. The region was devastated, but the global effects were worse. Sulfur clouds triggered a volcanic winter lasting up to a decade. Ice cores show a dramatic cold spike. The world plunged into a deep freeze. Humanity nearly vanished. Genetic evidence suggests a population bottleneck. Our ancestors survived as small bands, clinging to life in a hostile world. Toba is proof supervolcanoes are not theoretical. They have shaped human evolution. Today, we are billions, dependent on a fragile global system. Surviving such an event now would be a challenge of a different magnitude. Toba's echo warns us, the threat is real and the stakes are higher than ever. Are we ready for a supervolcano? Our science is advanced, with global monitoring and early warning systems. In theory, we might have years of warning, but the reality is daunting. Evacuating millions is a logistical nightmare, and nowhere is truly safe from global fallout. Our disaster plans are inadequate for a crisis that halts food, transport, and communication worldwide. The greatest challenge may be psychological and political. How would leaders and the public respond to a decade-long warning? Preparing would require unprecedented global cooperation and investment. We know the threat, but our systems remain deeply vulnerable. Awareness is high, but true readiness is still out of reach. Supervolcanoes force us to confront a profound truth. Earth is not merely a passive backdrop to our lives, but a living, breathing, dynamic system. It's a complex interplay of forces, constantly shifting and reshaping itself. It is definitely not a stable stage for human drama, a solid foundation upon which we can build without consequence. We must recognize that our existence is intertwined with the planet's own volatile nature. These eruptions, as destructive as they may seem, are not anomalies, but an integral part of the planet's life cycle, driven by the same fundamental forces that build continents over millennia, sculpt mountain ranges, and ultimately sustain life as we know it. Our civilization, with all its advancements and complexities, has flourished during an unusually calm epoch in Earth's history, a period of relative geological tranquility. But this stability, this comfortable illusion of permanence, is not guaranteed. The Earth's inherent dynamism reminds us that change is the only constant. A supervolcano with its unimaginable power could end the Holocene in a matter of days, reshaping the world as we know it, reminding us in the starkest terms of our vulnerability, our dependence on the delicate balance of natural forces. This knowledge, this awareness of our precarious position, should inspire humility and awe in the face of nature's grandeur, not just paralyzing fear. The very same forces that threaten us, that hold the potential for immense destruction, also make life possible, providing the essential ingredients for our survival. Volcanic soils, rich in minerals, that nourish our crops, atmosphere, a protective shield that sustains life, and geothermal energy, a clean and sustainable power source. The Earth gives, generously providing for our needs, and the Earth can take away, reminding us of the impermanence of all things. The fundamental question is this: knowing our planet's immense power, understanding its capacity for both creation and destruction, how should we live? Do we continue to ignore the inherent risk, burying our heads in the sand and hoping for the best? Or do we use it as a catalyst for resilience, fostering cooperation and preparing for the inevitable challenges that lie ahead. The sleeping giants beneath our feet, the supervolcanoes that slumber in the Earth's depths, challenge us to match our wisdom to our power, to act responsibly and sustainably. Our answer to this challenge, the choices we make in the face of this knowledge, may ultimately decide our fate as a species.